Okay, so we've got a video here of Robert Karlson on the left and Alexander Levy on the right. These guys were playing together in US Open qualifying at Walton Heath. Now I've actually already done a video reviewing Levy's swing here on the right, as I say in a previous video, and in that video I mentioned that for me Levy is a good example of a modern day golf swing, but Karlson here on the left is for me a bit more of a has a more of a classic sort of old school type golf swing. So I just wanted to do this video just to compare the two really and show how for me the swings have changed, or the golf swing has developed over the years a little bit. So if we have a look at Karlson on the left, as I say, both guys hitting 3-wood here, and we're going to see with Karlson's takeaway. So he is getting a one-piece takeaway, but if we stop it there and the club shaft is parallel to the ground, we're going to see he's initiating that takeaway a little bit more with his hands and with his arms. You're going to see with Levy. So here we stop it there. We're going to see his right arm is quite close to his body, and he's just got a small amount of shoulder rotation there in that early stage of his backswing. If we look at Levy, he's going to initiate that takeaway a little bit more with his chest just by turning his upper body, and his hands and his arms are just going to go along with that motion. What that means, if we stop that at the same point when the club shaft is parallel to the ground, we'll see much bigger space between his right arm and his body. And if we look at his shoulders, we'll see a really big difference there. See how he's got much more shoulder rotation at that early part in his backswing, because essentially he's just creating a little bit more width there than Karlson is on his takeaway, just by, say, initiating that with his chest, just rotating his chest away from the ball. Then if we take Karlson up to the top, we're going to see a sort of classic position, see a nice big shoulder turn here. So he's got his shoulders past 90, and he's got that club shaft parallel to the ground. What we're going to see there as well is a reasonable amount of hip turn. He's certainly creating resistance between his upper and his lower body, but he's going to have a bit more hip turn than you're going to see with Levy, probably about 40-45 degrees of hip rotation there into his backswing. What we're going to see with Levy is, if we take him up to the top, we're going to see he's still creating a really good coil here with his upper body, so he's getting his shoulders past 90 as Karlson is, but we're going to see a much shorter arm swing, and that's just because he's creating a bit more width, initiating that takeaway with his chest. He's just creating a smaller arm swing and a bit more of a compact position. You can see the shaft of his club isn't quite reaching parallel to the ground. So if we take these lines away and just compare the two, for me there, Karlson on the left, as I say, is a bit more of a classic position, a bit of a longer sort of loose type backswing, and Levy on the right is a bit tighter, a bit more compact. You can see, as I mentioned as well, he's not got quite as much rotation of the hips, probably about 20-25 degrees, something like that. Then if we take it into the downswing, we're going to see, I just want to put this line here on Karlson's left hip, just pretty much going down just to the inside of his left foot, and we're going to see he is going to start with his lower body. So as he's initiating that downswing with his lower body, oops, let me just do that again, but we're going to see a bit more of a slide with his lower half on the downswing, and with Levy we'll see a bit more rotation. So here, if we put this line on him, and we take this through, we're going to see, as I say, he's going a bit of a slide with his legs there into impact. With Levy, if we put this same line on him, just from his left hip to the inside of his left foot there, we're going to see he is going to move laterally, so he's going to move his left hips, start the downswing with his lower body, move his left hips towards the target, but then he's going to rotate a little bit more with his lower body than Karlson is. So if we stop him at that exact same point, we can see how his left leg has stayed much closer to that line, and Karlson's has come much further through that line. As I say, Karlson on the left is just having a bit more of a slide, whereas Levy on the right is having a bit more rotation. What this means as well, that through impact, is if we look at Karlson and we stop it just about there, we're going to see that right forearm has started to come over the top of his left forearm. So it's that classic sort of release of the golf club, and what we'll see with Levy is a bit of a different story. If we stop him at that same point, we see how his right forearm hasn't really started to come on top of his left forearm. That's just because Levy on the right is not being quite so aggressive with his hands and his arms through impact. He's just turning his body more, and that's the body turn is controlling the release and controlling his hands and his arms essentially, whereas Karlson on the right, a bit more of a slide, so his hands and his arms are a little bit more active through the impact area. Then we take it up to the finish. Both have a nice sort of balanced, controlled follow through. Now, I'm definitely not saying it's better to swing it one way or the other. Both these guys are very successful players, both really, really good golf swings. It's literally just a comparison for me, as I say, of the more classic golf school versus the more modern day golf swing should I say. But ultimately, like I say, both work, both are really good swings, because what they can both do is here, at this point with Karlson on the left, and at this same point with Levy on the right, is they can both get it right at impact, and they can both repeat that, and that is why they've been such successful players. So as I say, I'm not saying one's better than the other, it's just a comparison of how it's the swing's developed over the years. And for me, one of the factors in that is sort of golf fitness, and as that's become more popular, that sort of, for me, changed the golf swing a little bit. The way Levy's swinging it on the right takes a little bit more flexibility and a bit more strength and stability in the right areas, to be able to swing it that way. So hopefully you found this video useful. For more videos, tips, reviews, things like that, you can follow me on Twitter at RCGolfPro. Thanks for watching.